I'm Sahar. I'm the founder of Sahar's Art. We are a Singaporean makeup brand and we specialize in summer-proof formulas that really, really work in this humidity. Welcome to my store. I want to say the first time I started working on the brand was in late 2018. I was 20 years old. I was about to turn 21. And that was kind of the first time I was experiencing like these skin sensitivities. And I felt inspired to create something of my own. So I started researching into makeup labs and reaching out to many to see who we could work with. It was basically one whole year of like rejection therapy because a lot of the brands and labs that I reached out to, they were incredible labs, but they were manufacturing for the biggest businesses in the world. And I'm like, hi, I'm 20 years old. I want to open a makeup brand. And they're like, you're going to have to buy 100,000 of each shade. And I'm like, okay, so maybe not.
But a team in all of Oz. VFX, you know it.
So I'm a self-taught makeup artist and I picked it up when I was a teenager. So that's where I got more of my cosmetology experience from. And then I started sharing my beauty experience on socials and I was able to kind of, grow with my platform, grow the skills, all of that. I started the brand very much inspired by my own skin struggle. Around that time, I started having some skin sensitivity to the products that I was using. I realized a little experimenting that I was having dermatitis and eczema from certain fragrances, some ingredients like talc, and that was kind of what inspired me to research more into the ingredients, maybe find some products that don't have these ingredients and eventually formulating my own. So that was the original core of Sahar's Art. So we try to be a little bit strategic with the space that we have. Here we have more of our grab and go products. So if you've seen us on socials, you might recognize some of these. And if you're walking by, you're like, oh, what's this? And then here we have for products that need a bit more testing. So they're right next to the mirror. These are our complexion shades, more of our complexion products. Maybe, you want to try the mascara, see how it looks on your skin. We were having a pop-up in Paya Bar and we were having people saying I'm coming from Clementi. And it was really moving to me to see that somebody is, like transiting for an hour to come buy one lipstick. So when we were looking for a permanent home, I wanted the space to be most accessible for our customers, wherever they're coming from. They can come find us easily. We're in B1 of Plaza Singapura, and a lot of the nearby shops are actually local businesses as well. They're local fashion, local shoe businesses, and that is a bit like curated by the mall. I think this spot is the perfect fit for us. I think you can see from the shops nearby that they're very much targeting young women. A lot of our customers are female. They're typically, I want to say 22 to maybe 35, 36 years old. So you want the buttery lip butter.
Yes.
But actually this one is a little bit thick, so I'm going to thin it out.
Okay. I don't know what magic you do in your formulas, but when I put the bloom and then top it with pearls and it dries down, that's it.
It's nice. It lasts.
It does not.
It lasts. So you can kind of see what the final texture will be like. It's not too sheer, not too pigmented. So one of our most iconic products is actually our unfiltered complexion pen. It is our oldest product. When we relaunched the brand about 2.5 years ago, this is what we relaunched with. We have 25 shades for complexion, and then we have actually 5 more shades for the color correctors. So for color cosmetics, it's a little bit more complicated, and every different industry and factory can specialize in a certain product. So previously we've had our eyeshadow palettes come from Italy before, and then we've had some products that we're making in our labs in China that are vegan and cruelty free. And then we've also had, some lipsticks that we've made in Turkey before. Turkey is actually quite a standout for manufacturing products because it's very, very difficult to import products into Turkey. So they actually have a very, very strong domestic manufacturing of products.
This next one is if you want to play with color, but you don't want to spend so much money, you can go for this. The local brand is from Sahur's Art. It's one of my friends and she makes amazing eyeshadow palettes.
Sahar's Art in Plaza Singapura, and they now have a custom makeup experience where you can create your very own glow-up highlighter blush.
The team is a little bit dynamic. We have a lot of people that kind of do different things and wear different hats. So I'm the CEO and the founder, and then we have somebody who's working more on the operations side. She's, kind of managing, the store scheduling, some shipments. And we have somebody who's in charge of our graphic elements. So campaign shoots, website, things like that. Recently, we've had an e-commerce manager because our online store is also growing. And then we have, I think, 9 or 10 girls that take shifts in the store, like throughout the month. So they're working part-time. Honestly, we pretty much control our distribution and everything ourselves. It's very rare for us to work with an external vendor. We're manufacturing the products ourselves, we're selling them ourselves. If we're having an influencer event, I'm just texting my friends saying, hey, come by tomorrow at 3 p.m. So we're very much like A to B, everything is under us. When you're a startup, corporate services like an accountant, like these finance, bookkeeping services are very, very expensive. And they can run thousands and thousands of dollars a month. And the fact that I'm an accountant myself, unofficially, I have a degree, but I wouldn't. It really helps the business, and even without sitting down and pulling up a spreadsheet, I know how much everything costs. I know how much of the space apportioned to our rent is going to each product. I kind of know these things at the back of my head already, and it really helps us be more careful with our money because obviously we've been bootstrapping this business from the start. So when we launched the store, we were having basically 80% of our sale retail and then 20% online. And that was pretty consistent for us for a long time until a couple of months ago when we launched our olive moisturizer, and it actually lifted the sales online and in store. We're now about 50-60% online and 40-50% in store. So the first ingredient is squalane, and you will never believe how hydrating it is from this texture, because you can see it disappears into the skin instantly and it's not greasy at all.
My favorite time of day.
You can see I'm almost
I think skincare, there are a lot of options in the market, so we want to be very intentional with what we launch, and we have to fill a gap. But also, I think there's a lot of fluff in the skincare market. I feel like brands are sometimes manufacturing insecurities in young people just to sell a product. So I don't really want to be doing any of that. Bye, Casey. I'm heading off. See you. Bye. Bye. So we're at Paragon right now. There's an event here celebrating 25 years of Paragon. They have some fun stuff planned, so I thought I would drop by after work. The dog get one. Sure. Thank you. Yeah. Nice. Beautiful.
So actually this space is pink.
To bootstrap the business, I was using whatever influencer income I was making. I was paying myself a salary, and then on top of that, everything was getting invested back into the business. So I was creating content for other brands, some retailers. I have some long partnerships with brands. I've been working with them since 2018. That was the way that I was able to bootstrap the company. And even now that, I'm focusing more on my own brand, we still have those relationships with those companies. So whenever they have events, I'm always like, all right, this is pretty important. It would be nice to have it more of like a lifestyle brand, like if we had cute merch or something like that. But honestly, I think beauty is kind of where my heart is at right now, so we definitely see having makeup products and maybe more skincare, maybe step into fragrance a little bit. The category of beauty is so wide that we can do so much and still be within beauty. Yes, the company is profitable. It's been kind of a long journey, and it was a very tumultuous process through COVID, just kind of keeping it together. But I'm really proud of how we've been able to stand on our own feet, and by expanding our retail offerings and our online store, we've been profitable. So great.